This is the Making Noise podcast.
I think, if I was sort of to distill it down, I mean, there's a lot of elements in how I make it work, but I think it took me a while to realize that actually one of the most important things is sort of observing my boundaries when it comes to like work, and then like time off. And really sort of incorporating that into the puzzle. I lived in New York City for 12 years and I lived in the heart of Manhattan, and I was quite a workhorse. Like I'll be totally honest. I was really a workhorse, and that can be my tendency to just, I think also as a freelancer, many freelancers, like we don't have like quote weekends built into our schedules. So it's just like, well, I can just work anytime. Like, and I found myself sort of doing that. But a shift I've made, especially since I've moved, but also in the last couple of years, is sort of really understanding the power of time off, and that it can seem counterintuitive, but if we actually give ourselves that time off, we're going to come back and do that other work better, faster, and it's going to be more enjoyable. So that's been sort of a very important piece of how I maintain things, which may seem like the most counterintuitive thing to say. Sarah, how do you juggle all these things? Oh, I take time off. I mean, it's of course it's more complicated than that, but that's what enables me to show up my best. And it's not just like, oh, take a day off a week and you'll be able to juggle everything. I mean, I'm sort of like a productivity like nerd. Maybe I could say a productivity ninja. But so I have a lot of systems that I really swear by. And for me, it comes down to really setting up my day. Like the goal for me, how am I intentional about setting up my day every morning, and getting clear about how I want it to go. That being said, of course, like things come up, things change, things take longer than you think. I'm not saying I can create a perfect schedule and then stick to it. I also that's not what I mean, but I am constantly intentional about how I'm spending my time, because I think something that can trip up a lot of people is being very reactional to what's happening. We react to everything. We react to our email. We react to, like what's happening around us, which is a part of our life. But if we aren't clear ourselves on what's most important first, all those reactions, like email can really, like we could spend all day doing email, right? And reacting to everything that's coming in. Those things need to be taken care of, but I guess what I'm saying, and I can give a tangible example, like one of the things that has changed my life is I don't actually check my email first thing in the morning. I do not. I don't check my email until about 10 a.m. And that has been a game changer, because in the morning before 10 a.m., I can say, right, what are the most important things I need to do? And then when I go to check my email, yeah, I have to deal with it. There are things I need to respond to, but it keeps me really focused on what's most important. If I was to check my email first thing, like, I used to like roll over in bed, like grab my phone, like check my email, like before I was even awake, and you start seeing like 90% of emails are asks from someone else. So it's like, can you do this? Or are you free for this? Or can you send me this? Or whatever, right? Those are other people's to-do lists, like ask Sarah for this, and I need to tend to those. Of course I do, and I will. But if I start my day out tending to everyone else's needs, then my most important priority items are just going to fall lower and lower in the day. And then I'm going to get to the end of the day and be like, I was busy all day, but I didn't like that thing that was really important to me. Like I didn't move the needle at all. So that's sort of, I guess I'm sort of answering your question. I mean, there's a lot of elements to it. And I do have support now. I have an assistant, I have someone helping me with social media. And so I'm at a point where I can hire in people, but those, the foundation of the things I mentioned are still very much there. And those are things that have really helped me in the last, 5 years or so to juggle everything that I do. So.
Wow. That's powerful.
Yeah.
I feel like you just sort of diagnosed me without even really knowing. You just pointed out every little thing, like, all right, Adam, you messed up. You need this, like.
No judgment. No judgment.
Oh, no. I know. I'm just, the things, it's just resonating a lot with, like, for example, I I'm the same way where I can't look at my phone or anything like that first thing in the morning. I love the way you frame that, by the way, by saying that you're tending to other people's needs
Yeah.
and not taking care of yourself. And everything you said right there, to me, sounds like the description of what the productive musician means.
Mm.
And that's one thing I wanted to ask you, because I like reading that, I could picture a college music student reading that and being like, well, we're all productive. We're practicing all day in the practice room and we're working with ensembles and this stuff. But I knew for you, it was a lot more than just that.
Yeah.
And
It
you
is.
just laid it all out.
Well, I think, my whole, like from the foundation of my work, and when it comes to productivity, which is obviously something I'm very fascinated with and have studied a lot, it there's a lot of myths around it. Like, I mean, for instance, like, it's not about, like, one of my, a quote actually that I think is now mine. Like, my clients say, Sarah, this is your quote. You say, this is like your quote. Okay. Productivity is not about getting the most done. Productivity is about getting to the end of your day and feeling like you got enough done. I think there's this myth around, I'm going to practice for 7 hours, or actually, let's talk about to-do lists. Like, it's like, I'm going to get so much done. So if you have a to-do list of 30 things, okay, that's a lot of things, right? And you get 25 of them done in a day. That's a lot of things to get done, right? But if you
Yeah.
get to the end of your day and you are looking at those 5 unchecked items and you're going, oh my God, I still didn't get, oh, okay, I still gotta get all these things done. Okay, like, that feeling?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is that where you want to be? So I like to reframe things, and I don't like to play the right wrong game, but it's like, how do you want to, like, how do you want your day to go? How do you want to feel?
That's so true. That's so true. Because I imagine most everyone can attest to that by the end of the day, you don't feel great about what you did when you look back at it and you're like, oh, I wanted to do these other things, but I did everything else instead, like send emails and
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever else that they're not tending to.
Yeah.
I feel like that's just sort of a universal thing amongst musicians, especially college age and then just graduating and stuff. It's a weird sort of dichotomy because, like you said before, we're trained to work so hard in our craft, but then applying that to some sort of like viable financial options, but at the same time, like what you're saying, feeling like you're moving the needle
Yes.
toward whatever it is you actually want to be doing.